right, well, welcome back to another episode of our Create the Ripple podcast. I am your host, Candice Smiley, and here we talk about trusting the niggle and telling the truth. Now, my guest today has an incredible story. She's also got a new book, which I saw pop up on my Instagram feed today, which I'm super stoked that we get to share with you all. And so I don't really want to dive too much into that until we have a chance to really hear her story in her own words, because you all know how much I absolutely love having my guests sort of bring it in from their hearts and their space. So without any further ado, Tanya, I'm going to hand the call over to you.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on here. And had a lot of things happening
Yeah.
this past year for sure. And I'm definitely excited to share with everybody what's going on and hopefully inspire some people with my story for sure.
Exactly. So you're writing a book, you've written the book, it's done, it's ready for us to share and get our hands on. And I'm guessing that that's the story of how you got here.
Well, so that book cover is a mock up that I did and in preparation for the book, hopefully coming out later this year.
Cool.
And the story is more so being a 4-time cancer survivor and just knowing like uh, when you're giving that diagnosis, like it's a lot of fear and panic and loss of hope when the doctors are talking to you. And like I said, it's not my first time. Definitely the scariest time, like being given like their prognosis. And I always hate hearing prognoses when I never asked to know the prognosis. And I also know what I'm sharing in my book is that there's just because the doctor says like you have this long,
Mhm.
and it's not always accurate. Like Western medicine versus holistic medicine are two different things, and I truly believe that um, everything that I've done the past 5 months now since I had brain surgery,
Mhm.
and I've learned so much, and I really want other people to hear that side of things so they don't stay in the fear of getting that diagnosis that you have cancer.
That's powerful. I
Yeah.
can't imagine what it would be like to hear those words for the first time. What
Mm.
like hearing those words 4 times.
Yeah, right. Uh, yeah, I was diagnosed for the first time when I was 30 years old with well, I shouldn't say the first time. First time I had melanoma on my ankle, and I thought that was serious at the time.
Mhm.
But just a little while later, I was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma and had to go like through chemotherapy, radiation, and everything. And I knew I was sick, and that's part of my frustration
Mhm.
is years of getting blood work done, years of going to the doctors, 3 different doctors. No
Mhm.
one knew what was wrong with me, yet I wasn't well.
Mhm.
And people uh, laugh at me when I say, like, when I was finally diagnosed, when it got so bad
Mhm.
that I could barely breathe, that they said, like, you have cancer. My first thought was relief. Yeah,
Right.
because so
Yeah.
many people were saying to me, it's all in your head, like all these things. And I'm like, it's not. Like, I have all these things. And like I said, it was years and years of trying to figure out what was wrong with me, but nobody jumps to, you're 30 years old, you have cancer.
Yes.
That's not what they go to, you
Mhm.
know? And this last time, like, I knew something was wrong again. And I'm like, something's not right. I don't feel very well. And again, like blood work didn't show anything. Like there's nothing in your blood work. And it got to the point where I started not making sense, where, my sister-in-law took me to the hospital and I was ready for emergency brain surgery. And
Yeah.
it's just so scary. Like I was talking with my family doctor the other day and about it, and I said, like, I guess there was something wrong, like, and it's frustrating because if a family doctor, like if she said, if I ordered like a CAT scan, you would be waiting 8 months to get one. And yeah, it's just, like I said, it's frustrating. And I like writing this book and sharing like all the holistic people that have offered their services to me, like over the past 5 months, to say, like, I said, why me? And I know other people think this too, like, what happened? Why me? Am I going through this? And I want like this book to be like something you could give, to them. So
You've mentioned, obviously you've done, the traditional chemo and radiation and that kind of stuff.
yeah.
And then recently, it looks like there's more of a shift, or what I'm hearing is more of a shift to the holistic. Can we talk about
Yeah, well, it's funny because, well, not funny, but since going through cancer before, like I've worked at a health store, I've a nutritional consultant. Um, I actually took a cancer practitioner course in holistics, so I'm very,
You've learned
very
it.
aware.
Yeah.
I'm very aware.
Mhm.
And for me, I was just like, seriously, like WTF? Like, are you seriously?
I don't know how
And
else I would have responded. That would have been my mind. Are you kidding me? What?
like, come on, And yeah, I said, oh man. So I sat down, like even in the hospital, like I was in the hospital for a couple weeks, and
Mhm.
and I said, I asked myself the question, like, why? Why? Again, why? And at first I thought it was interesting and a cruel joke almost, like,
Mhm.
because I always had a hard time sharing like my feelings with people, and the tumor was on my emotion center of my brain.
It is.
And seriously, and I laugh and I'm like, universe, what
Yeah.
are you doing to me?
Mhm.
And so I talked about that like on Facebook,
Mhm.
and I thought, okay, so lesson one, talk about how you feel, don't keep it inside. And because feelings trapped within the body create disease. And also being an entrepreneur, um uh I lost my train of thought there. Just I was under a lot of stress the past since I moved to Edmonton.
Mhm.
And like I said, you can eat well, and sometimes I wasn't eating like the best choices.
Mhm.
um and but stress was just like consuming me.
Mhm.
And I definitely think, like, if you don't have an outlet for your stress, then again, it's like keeping emotions inside, it's keeping your stress inside. It creates that uncomfortableness within the body, and your body can't live in a stressful state
No.
24/7,
No. No.
all the time. So yeah.
Wow. You've had some big shifts in how you're dealing with it and processing it now. Are you finding, like, what's that relief level as you're sort of working through? It seems like maybe levels of emotions, and I understand acutely about tucking stress away. That was certainly something that I did
Mhm.
in my younger years. A lot of trauma. I just sort of tucked it away. Didn't feel like I had time to deal with it. And remember in the last couple of years, just this sense that my body was getting tired, and it was this overwhelming sense of you need to
Mhm.
slow down, you need to get your stress under control, you need to learn some boundaries, because that was a big challenge,
Mhm.
right? No is a complete sentence. And it was confirmed when I was chatting with naturopath, who have sort of shifted my own self, right, more into that holistic sense
Mhm.
of healthcare. And she said, you're probably in danger of getting an autoimmune disease if you don't
Yeah.
start to take care. Your body can only handle so much. And that was like a wake up call, like, get your poop in order kind of
Yeah.
thing. Well, talk to me about your
Literally, yeah.
with that.
Yeah, uh like I said, the past 5 months, I've shifted, and people
Mhm.
have commented on my shift, and like I've never been on so much medication in my life. Being
Mhm.
in the hospital and stuff like that, right? When I got out, I was like sweating every day, going through a detoxification process, and I had a lot of anxiety about the situation, and
Mhm.
meetings like at the Cross Cancer Institute, and they put the fear of God like in you, like it's just like, oh my God, like how am I ever going to get through this? Like this is even more serious.
Mhm.
And it's been like a journey of like, okay, who can help support me through this?
Mhm.
And like I said, I knew I had like stuff in my past, like bad breakups, losing my parents. My parents had cancer, and everything. And it's just like, oh my goodness, okay, like let's really look at your life, and it's time to dive in and see like what you can let go of, like what are you still holding on to. And one of the first books that I started reading was Radical Remission,
Okay.
and the similarities of people who have um, cured, like in quotes, their cancer by doing like all these different things. And I wrote them on my whiteboard when I got home, and I said, okay, these are all the things that, you got to look at.
Mhm.
And so I started diving in, and people like have offered their services to me. Like people have raised funds for me as an entrepreneur. I didn't have um, benefits. I didn't have like those
Mhm.
things that normally you would have. So I'm so grateful for that. And integrity seminars, I gotta mention them because they have just everyone from there is just like so amazing and offering creating win-win scenarios,
Mhm.
and shifting like from emotional freedom technique to meditations to kundalini mantras to soul retrieval and hypnosis and all these things that I've never been so busy in my life.
Right?
I'm like, what, but I'm like, I gotta do this. Like, and it was so emotional. I've had so many emotional
Mhm.
releases, and like I said, if anyone said to me like, wow, like, oh, you're lucky, and like, and I'm like, that luck, that has nothing to do with it.
And doing the work. Yeah.
I'm doing a lot of work,
Yeah.
and starting to feel it inside.
Mhm.
Um, because I truly believe like the things that I've recently tapped into
Mhm.
have all connected, yet nobody knows each other. They're all talking about the same thing. And like pick up an oracle card, it says like you're on the right path, and I'm like, I know.
I know.
So I finally like not that I ever would have wished to go through this
Mhm.
again.
Mhm.
um but I knew who I was like before, and it wasn't like a happy person, and I was very stressed out,
Mhm.
and if it wasn't something that was so serious,
Mhm.
I probably still would have been stuck, I think, in that place instead of um,
Mhm.
really learning about other holistic modalities that are out there and being open to them. And I truly feel like if that's all someone has to be is just open to hearing stuff. And if you don't like, I didn't get all the stuff that I did. I don't. Some things I did, I was told like it's okay, you don't understand it, And I'm
No,
like,
that's good.
okay, okay. A lot of people were seeing success with it, so I'm like, why not try it? And it was a good experience, and it's led, like I said, one step leads to another step, which you know brings you here, and all of a sudden like you're on the same page, and
Yeah,
just like, okay, like in my book it's stories of all the people that have helped me,
that's awesome.
and like I cannot wait um to have it out there, and so people can just be like, well, this point, like using a squatty potty,
Yeah,
kind of a thing, like changes your life,
it totally does. I can
you know.
understand that, and I'm wondering if maybe, that entrepreneur life, it doesn't always give us a lot of time, right? And I mean, I
Yeah.
know, and I'm sure you do as well, we set our own schedule, yet our schedule often sets the tone, right?
Oh yeah,
Wow.
definitely.
Hey, it's Candice. I hope you're really enjoying the show. I know I certainly am. I want to give a big shout out to one of the products that I absolutely love using. So this is 36-year-old skin, and I am in love with it. Yes, I am wearing a teeny tiny bit of foundation. I'm wearing a little bit of eyeshadow, but in general, I want to go like really, really close. This is my skin. Phenomenal, right? So I recently started using a product called Biocell. Biocell is liquid collagen. Now, there's a lot of buzz about collagen right now, but you want to find one that mirrors closest the human kind of collagen. I was super impressed with this particular collagen. This is made with only the sternums of chickens. So that's the, the sternum bone of chickens in a place that has already ethically and humanely taken care of these chickens. And so we're basically using a part of the chicken that would normally just disappear and be used for other things. I have not gotten into the collagen world before now, mostly because I know that a lot of the collagens out there, especially the powdered collagen, they have things like cow hooves and pig hooves and noses, and I just wasn't interested in putting that sort of thing in my body. I do try to live a more plant-based lifestyle. This is one of the few products that I allow to have animal in it, but I absolutely love it. I'm also really impressed with the company behind it. They're a values-driven company, and if you know from watching any of my shows, values matter to me. They've got a number of values. One, to be disruptive in the industry, and you know me, I like to be a little bit irreverent and go against the grain once in a while. I also really love that one of their values is humility and compassion, because those are huge and important to me. So if you're looking for a place to spend your money, and no, it's not an arm and a leg, no, it's not an MLM, this is affiliate marketing, which means if you did decide to purchase this product, yes, I would in fact get a small commission, which has nothing to do with your products or your purchase or the price point on the product, to be honest with you. It is simply 10 to 36% for me, depending on how many of this awesome product that I get a chance to move. Also, I'm paid daily, which I think is pretty amazing. So if you're somebody who's looking for some collagen and you just want to be your customer, I have got a $10 code. Drop a link or a comment below, or feel free to message me and I will share with you my link so that you can get $10 off of your first order. If you are somebody who's thinking, hey, I would like to get some product and also like to break into the affiliate game, that's a passion for me. I love teaching women and men, but mostly women, how to master the affiliate game. Once you learn how to do it with one company, you can do it with anything else. So I hope that you're enjoying the show. And without any further ado, back to the show. Last
Definitely.
year, had an opportunity through unexpected grief that entered into my life, and it just totally tanked me. And like you, led straight into the healers, literally, like, sent out a Hail Mary, like, I need some help. And the people that showed up to offer sessions or to hold space or, did distance healing, because it was right at the first, lockdown that we were going through. And after 14 weeks, remember emerging, and people would say things like, I can hear the change in your voice. Like I can see it in how you're holding yourself. And that didn't mean the pain had gone away.
Yeah.
But I was like, yeah, I do feel different. And I'm wondering if you'll, hear the same thing from people. Like the shift is so, it's hard to deny, right? Once you go through the changes you.
I am definitely not the same person. Definitely not. Like those feelings of doubt that were within me, like, I used to do websites. Like I'm a very techie person, and that's what I was doing before. And but going through this, it just made me realize, like, I can do that. That's not my destiny. I'm using all my tech skills right now for my book cover and stuff like that, but it wasn't what I was meant to be here to do. Yeah.
Do you know what that is? What you're meant to be here to do?
Yeah. I've always known, like, everything that I've done is finally, like, accumulating together.
I understand.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, that thing I was doing a couple years ago that didn't take off, I have all that stuff already done. Now I actually believe in myself.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm like, I was literally like, I'm a big fan of Joe Dispenza. And oh my God. And listening to his workshops and stuff, like I said, the quantum field, like, I know not everyone gets it, but I've tapped into that, and like I said, other people are like, this is a quantum field, this is, kind of thing too. And I'm just like, even though there's no relation between those people, and I'm just like, I believe fully in the body mind connection. And what I talk to my body now, and I saw, like, we can do this. Like, I'm sorry for all the things I said before. I didn't really mean it. And this is what I believe now. So let's alter your course and let's go here. And I started doing that. And I said, I had an idea of what I wanted to do, down here. And I know Joe is a big on, like, creating your own future, which is literally on my pamphlet that I did a couple years ago. And now I get it. Nice. And I did setting my intentions, and visualizations are really strong for me, and balancing my chakras and stuff like that. And I said, okay, like, where are we going with this? And I'm like, I wanted to write a book for, like, a long time. Never finished it because I didn't know how to finish it. And this pendant, like, came to me by one of the women that I'm working with, and she's like, I wanted to gift you this pendant. And I'm like, oh. And I read about it, and it's like, protects from EMFs, like electromagnetic fields, and also does the opposite, like, helps you align your atoms and tap more into the quantum field. And I'm like, interesting how I'm just, the universe is no coincidence. None. And I'm just laughing. It's like, I talked to the person, and like, now I'm like, okay, this is a great way for me to earn some income right now and help people at the same time. And I'm just like, it's like mind blowing. And then I'm just like, okay, thank you, universe. And I thought, one night it just came to me, like, what, the whole book was just like, okay, yeah, done, like, beginning to end, like. And I'm like, okay, let's put that on my new digital vision board. And I put on there like meeting Joe Dispenza, like one day, I don't need to know when, and all these things I put on there. And I'm just like, that's every night before I go to bed. That's my visualization. And like I said, just being open to something is, I don't know, the best decision you could ever do for your mind and your body and your spirit is just be open to other possibilities, because there's always something else you can do. Always.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm. Powerful stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think it really is.
It
It's
is, and
crazy.
I have goosebumps, which is when we start wandering into the the metaphysical realm, which is very real for me. I know it's not real for everybody,
Mm-hmm.
it is for me, but I mean, like yesterday, had a sense of overwhelm, and you may have sensed that, right? In terms of us attempting to get
Yep.
and through the universe, need a little help. And within 5 minutes, there was an answer. And, I've been doing this long enough now that I recognize it and I go, oh, that was good. It's
Oh
not
yeah.
always that fast, right? And it's really powerful. And then to be able to stand there and
Yeah.
go, okay, good, good. You still got me. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready to move forward and meet that space and that trusting that everything happens exactly as it's supposed to, even when I
Oh
don't
yeah.
understand, the why or the how or any of those things. It's almost more fun when we don't, I think. But,
Yeah. I know, like I definitely was not in this place before. And being open to like the quantum field, I don't like, there's things that I looked at before and I don't think I ever tapped into it. I'm like, I don't know what that is.
right? Yeah.
And I'm sure that's how most people are like, quantum field. What are you
What? What's going
talking
on?
about?
Girls just wanted into a crazy thing. Yeah, we did.
And like the big thing that got me was more than one person like messaged me and said, "Oh, have you watched Joe Dispenza's stuff?" And I'm like, I don't know. I've watched so many things.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like him saying like people have healed their cancers, and people have seen when they couldn't see, and healed their Parkinson's when they, all these things. And he's like, I get emails every single day. And he's like, they're like, you're never gonna believe this. And he's like, well,
Yeah,
I
try me.
probably will, And just the hospitals are talking to him about this whole thing too, because it is actually working. And I just found that so interesting. And like I said, it's not the only thing that I'm listening and working on. And it's just been, like I said, a collaboration of people coming together and creating a healing journey. And that's, what one day, like I've done speaking events, but one day, like when my book is ready and stuff like that, I want to share this story and talk to people and just inspire hope is the bottom line that I want to do. And like I'm in this brain cancer group, and I see people in there, and I remember being that person when you're in the hospital and the doctor gives you their 5-second speech, and I'm like, no, like all these people are still doing good, 3 years later, 20 years later, and stuff like that. Like, oh, I just wish like the doctor would give you just that tiny bit of hope. You know what I mean? Like someone's healed from every cancer that's out there, every single one. And I want my book to get out there, and when it's ready, and just be that symbol of just hope for people that are going through this, because I get it. Sometimes I wish I didn't, but I do get it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you're working on the book and working on all
Mm-hmm.
kinds of healing, and
Mm-hmm.
that's an exciting place to be. Seems like you're really moving through. I understand the integrity seminars. I've had an opportunity to be a part of that group before. So,
Yeah. Amazing.
right? I feel
Yeah.
you. Oh, yeah.
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 I yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Commenting. It's neat to see these synergistic pieces. I was,
Right?
oh, there you go. Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's amazing. Like I said, when you let yourself be open to opportunities, instead of like forcing things to happen. Why is this not working?
Yes.
And then having things like coincidentally, come together, and I'm like, funny universe, I get that,
Yeah.
and yeah.
Is there a sense that you feel, at least it's been for me, when I allow and let go? Which for me, as an entrepreneur, I spent most of my career living more in my masculine energy, which meant I was pretty much constantly unbalanced. Other things. I mean, sure, it was good, right? And now I'm trying to like literally blend those two pieces, which is challenging.
Hmm.
But finding a lot of relief, and I think I can look back and see different spaces where I'm like, I give up, right? Which now I'm sort of okay,
Hmm.
surrender and allow. And it's hard, right? To not try
Hmm.
to figure it all out. Then usually the answer comes more quickly, and there's this element of receiving. I'm wondering if you're experiencing something similar to that.
Hmm.
I come to this place both physically and likely emotionally and many other ways that sort of lead you to a space of, okay, I'm sort of just open now because I need to be. And in that allowing, I mean, we know that so much of the attraction piece is also the allowing, right? We have to make space in our life for that thing that we actually want, which I think a lot of people forget to do. They make the goal, they make the plan, they know what they want to do. And then we get so busy in life, right?
Hmm.
I, like you, have a skill set that I've employed throughout my entire career. But if push really came to shove, I've known what I've wanted to do since I was 12 or 13. And
Hmm.
I think, why am I just now starting to actually live it? Right. And everybody's like, but they have a great tool set. I'm like, yes, and I'm sure it's going to be used somewhere.
I know.
But I could have saved myself 20 years if I had.
Right? If only I had known this before. Could save myself so much time.
Well, and a lot of. Are you looking for a simple, easy weight management solution? I thought you might be. I know I was. I also wasn't interested in something with a ton of gimmick without any science behind it, which I know a ton of companies have. The company I'm about to share with you actually has 12 of their own clinical studies. And for me, with my science-based background, I needed to know that. I also needed to know the product worked. And so I was introduced to the group that, however, had 125,000 members in it, all supporting amazing stories of weight management, weight loss, hair regrowth. Oh my gosh. Not surprising though, considering the product itself has won numerous awards in and out of the nutraceutical industry, which I think is pretty incredible. Pretty exciting as well is the fact that it's made with their patented technology, 7 international patents on the collagen in this product, made entirely from chicken sternum. Chicken sternum, why? Because it most closely mimics the collagen that our own bodies create. Now, I'm a 36-plus-year-old woman, and so making sure that I'm maintaining and taking care of and trying to reverse the clock so I can age gracefully is super important to me. Making sure I'm taking products that are safe, making sure I'm taking products that are approved, and making sure I'm taking products that I would be happy to share because there's integrity at the top. So this company is a values-based company, which I absolutely love. Not only do I love that, but I love the flavors. This is mango. Mango's my favorite. This is from the Modera company, which you've heard me talk about before. One simple spoonful a day. In the morning, I can add it to my coffee if I feel like it. I don't add the mango, I add the vanilla to my coffee. But I can add a simple spoonful to my day. It tastes awesome. It tastes amazing. And it's helping my body to maintain the figure that I've worked to get to. Why not? Now, if you're looking for some weight management, this is going to help curb appetite. It's going to help your body to function as best. And we know that when you do something like that and you make wiser choices, your body says thank you. This is part of an entire system called the Lean Body System. I will make sure to post information for that below, or you're welcome to scan the QR code, which I know is going to be somewhere in the screen if you're watching this on YouTube. If not, head over to modere.ca. That's Modere, modere.ca, or modere.com, and use code 5579027. Again, 5579027 to save $10 on your next order, regardless of what you put in your cart. Thanks so much. Have a great rest of the listen. Well, and a lot of times, just like the doctors tell you, the expectation of life, well-meaning
Mm-hmm.
people told me what was possible for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I bought into those limitations and then therefore made them my own limitations rather than
Yeah.
I actually think I could do it. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I know I can do it. I know it's possible for me.
Yes. Yes. And actually, sticking with what you believe is possible for you. I think a lot of people fail and they don't get back up,
Yes.
right? At things. And I could easily have, I remember saying to myself, this is so hard. This is
Mhm.
so hard right now.
Mhm.
And, I don't even know like how I'm going to get through this. And that has slowly faded away. Um, the more I've done, the more releases, forgiveness and gratitude and yeah, letting go of expectation and knowing that if a door closes, there's a reason it closed on you, and not to be frustrated that it closed, and to just say, okay, one door closes, another one opens, and I like the saying, like, she believed she could, so she did,
Did.
and I truly believe that. Like, I've taken a lot of time to convince my brain, my mind,
Mhm.
my spirit, even, like, that you believe this. So keep reminding your body that this is the way we're going. Like, this is, so, I'm going here. So I don't know when it'll happen, but to get there, we need to be healed. We need to heal our body. And this is the last time. I don't ever want to go through this again. And I know people have said, like, we see the shift in you, and like, I feel it too. Like, I feel the shift.
I
And
almost want to go and find like previous recording of you and see if I can hear it in your voice.
yeah. Oh,
Because
I've got a lot of videos out there you
otherwise,
can
like,
watch.
we can hang after the podcast and share. Because, I grew up with music and sound, and I've always said, we create our world with our words. And so, the words you speak, and that of course starts in here, and people forget that, right? It's like,
Yes.
think about your word, it starts in here. And we
Yeah.
podcast where we talk about, trusting the niggle and telling the truth means telling the truth first here, right? I'm not happy,
Yes.
or I'm unwell, or I'm not, doing what I need to be doing. That's the first step. And it's sort of like, here's the,
Mm-hmm.
okay, moving forward, what do I want to create? And, we tend to engineer our lives to be small versus,
Yes.
the other side of that, which is, can I allow myself to be as big as
Mm-hmm.
my soul would like me to be, right? I mean, that was what I discovered when I leaned into my soul and that grief, as I was just like, I didn't feel like there's anything left. And the sense I had was a reconnection with myself at a soul level. And I was grateful
Mm-hmm.
that I don't want to go through the grief again. But that, wow, there's a whole nother self. Had a brilliant healer who took me inside my heart, which I'd really been disconnected from, right? My head was pretty active, right?
Yep.
Very masculine energy. And I cared about people, but to a point, right? There was sort of this,
Mm.
my heart was, once you're in, but, not everybody gets in. And then when I finally went down and sort of opened up some of those doors in my heart metaphysically and looked inside, I was like, there's
Mm.
so much capacity here. Like, there's capacity for here, and there's capacity for here, and there's capacity for, and that sort of overwhelming expansion of how small I had led myself to be
Mm-hmm.
for whatever I had, owned, to say,
Yeah.
maybe there's more. And like you say, to just be open. I don't have to let everybody in, but maybe I can just leave the door open and see where that expansion
Mm-hmm.
ends up leading me.
Yeah. I'll probably cry when I say this. The biggest thing for me, like, was always like, I was known as a shy kid, a shy
Mhm.
person, and I've done, like, I ran my own fitness competition. I competed in bodybuilding and stuff, putting
Mhm.
myself out there and stuff like that. But I always had that feeling of invisibility,
Mm.
like when I would compare myself to like, well, this person, like, they're making like $1 million
Mhm.
doing this. And I'm like, well, I can never do that.
Yeah.
And the reality is now is um sometimes when I would do public speaking, I get so nervous, my throat would just like close up, I'd be like, the whole time. And I finally was talking about chakras, and I'm like, okay, I know with biometrics, you can actually see where your chakras are out of alignment and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And but the one for me, like the major one, was like, I gotta get my throat open, you know. And so I watched my friend did a throat chakra healing meditation, and like, okay, like let's unlock this, like you got to be able to speak about your emotions freely and talk freely with people. And so I closed my eyes and I did it, and I kept crying through it. And I was like, I don't know why, like it just like
Mhm.
cried. And then we started singing this mantra that I also do with a friend of mine that's into the Kundalini mantras. And I'm like, I know this one. And so she was singing it, and I was singing it with her, and I could feel like I have a busy mind, so I have to move things. So I
Mhm.
was picturing like a spiraling blue flame in my throat, just
Mhm.
bigger and bigger, and until like out of my mouth, like notes in blue were like coming out, and I'm like, I started sobbing and had such an emotional like release around it to say like, oh my God, it's finally
Mhm.
open.
Mhm.
And I don't feel invisible anymore, and it's
Powerful.
like I just had my birthday, and I'm like 47 years, and to get to a point where I could speak freely and not like
Mhm.
write stuff down, and I'm like, okay, what am I going to say to this
Mhm.
question and stuff like that, to just like have everything just flow out of me easily without doubt, without question. And like I said, the book and everything that I'm doing, it's just like finally like unlocked that door
That's beautiful.
into my future, and I see it so clearly, and it's so bright.
That's so right. You need to wear shades, girl.
Exactly. Yeah, it's just I think to myself some nights, and I'm just like, because that feeling of love, when you tap into that feeling, like it's almost like I can barely breathe, it's so strong. And
Mhm.
I'm just like, oh my God, I know people are going to think I'm crazy, but like, I'm so thankful for my life. Like right now, I'm just so thankful
Mhm.
and for where things are going. And like I said, it's just like letting things happen, letting things like just flow in the way they're meant to, in that higher frequency vibration. And like I said, it's just amazing when you allow it all to come in, just like you said, just let it flow.
So
So it's, yeah, I'm so excited.
wonderful.
Yeah.
We could definitely hold space with you for a long time. But I need to wrap this one up, and we'll have to have you back as another guest
Yeah, absolutely.
when your book is, written, and we can talk about it. And I'm sure to promote it. And certainly if we can get maybe parts of your story as it's coming together, into our magazine, we'd love that, to use it as a tool to support you. I think this is really powerful stuff that you're talking about. Uh,
Yeah,
just
absolutely.
for the physical cancer healing, but that inner stuff, which is just like you hit a nerve for me today, and so
Mm.
want to be a part of that, as you rise. But is there anything else that you'd love to leave our listeners with today?
Um, I think for me, like I said, even if in my book I write about this too, is just being open to possibility,
Mhm,
having hope,
mhm,
and knowing how powerful your mind can be.
mhm.
And I have information on Tanya West.ca and about the stuff that I'm selling and stuff like that. And I said I'll definitely keep you in the loop about the book. And I'm really hoping for 2021 to finish it and get it published out there. And yeah, I couldn't be more excited to see where my future is going to end up. So,
Very cool.
yeah.
Well, Tanya, thank you so much for coming and holding space with me today. I am touched by this, and I appreciated the powerful reminder that we need to be reminded more than we need to be taught, right? And I feel like you delivered that message for me today. So thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you as well. I
And sharing your
appreciate you.
story. Mm.
Yeah.
For my listeners, you know the drill. If you got value from this, like, comment, share, reach out to us on our social media, stay in touch. It's how we as content creators know that what we're putting out there is hitting the mark and continuing to deliver the messages that we're passionate about sharing with you. And of course, all the links and ways to connect with both myself and Tanya will be in the show notes and down below so that you have an easy way to make sure you can do that. And I will make sure that I catch the rest of you on the flip side. Thanks for listening today.